Nana Kwame Bedi CHEDDAR aba be church mu no wadi nkomo on eye enra ensebe beto mountain eye 14.9 million dollars eye UK court de abono se onkotwia emfama company antase friend say eye Cola Holdings eye limited eska wo twia interest ene te say cost esa ka ho a otwia e ama eye this particular eye UK based eye company ono ankasa abe church ni nsemu as to what happened at say 14.9 million dollars interest and a cost e kan ho a wotwia e de ama company no de ben e na si pote at say court no e de saade we e de abono sanso den nsemu we ba ye no Black Rasta enso e be call nsem ni mu deep at so be dive ye e churchem nsem ni mu more about this particular 14.9 million dollars ye de abo CHEDDAR se onkotwia ema this UK based company na ye hye emfiri Nana Kwame Bedi CHEDDAR ono ankasa nsem na nopa wabeka wetin komo about this 14.9 million dollars yes onkotwia emfama this UK based company
mama machi Ghana mai na kosi broni kura no eben inu be jaye nkwaso nsem na nka me fahin na me kodi obi ka 14.9 million sikano odi ma ana eba Ghana na abeto Bank of Ghana na abeto account na ifri na enti obi anso entimi anhwehwe sika koro na woka na chikwan se ifri na beto me ho na chese muti Nana Kwame Bedi akona na abaye amaisem se medika awana mkote nika mohwe adwuma meye da amesisi se bi kakra o mokai so bi kra tikra onim se abofa abon humodi enya de a so de kase ya wontimi ntua nemom enya ne nokre entina amama eto na mo se meka na kenya de kra nka me bie ma no wasem wemu nenso se no obi e wo company 50-50 you own this company with a foreigner and then you both owe a debt on the company. How then can one person turn this debt to become my personal debt? And after they hold every single document for the business, which is worth times 4 the debt, you have already a collateral. And you need to discuss with me because I've also paid debt here. Let's talk like business people. But how did it become Nana Kwame Bedi own? It's a company. Companies owe. Ghana, countries, they owe. The Dangotes, they owe. America, they owe. But not to say that I have a debt that I'm running away from. I don't. I have not been handed any money of such. And I have proof. Media, please. How long would you keep destroying your own? I mean, the common sense is there. Where is the judgment? Where is the trace of what so-called money that you say I owe from England judgment? Sure? Mumbra. Ghana too, we have laws. We have judges. We have a judiciary system. And so you cannot own a company and then go and take a judgment against your own company without you telling them the truth that you're 50% owner of the company. Then how did you forge those indemnity documents with my signature? So it's like I have borrowed money from you. I haven't. That's the proof. I haven't. And so Kola should come and prove to Ghana that they've given me this money. If there's no proof, why you forged documents say judgment debt from your London Edibabeji or Ghana? Hey, also what are the fire sassy waha? To move go that say you swear you no man in a call. So Kai say me a campaign no make a chemo say Galamze no and ya dear and yet to say ye pet and a ye. There is more to it. And these are some of the things. The same company that is claiming this judgment debt.
Eno ene Nana Kwame Bedi CHEDDAR wasi aka ne nsem ho ne ne watoto bi e de aba peche no so yenko Black Rasta ho enra ensem we beto mountain news no ono so bedi hu nkomo e cheche nsem no details.
UK court slaps CHEDDAR with 14.9 million American dollars. Hey, Now, a UK court decided that Cheddar is supposed to pay some money to Kohler Holdings, and that money is 49.9 million as the principal, and he will pay in excess of 1 million American dollars extra to Kohler Holdings for some kanana. What is the kanana? Was there any wrongdoing? Why is the court saying Cheddar must pay this? And it's been enforced by the Accra High Court. First and foremost, who is Cheddar? You know him, don't you? Cheddar, Jacob, Freedom, Caesar, the self-acclaimed rich man. When you go on the Oxford Street, he has a huge building there that has number 1 Oxford Street written on it. He has a car of a certain footballer, customized, that he decided to put on display over there. He told us that he made his money from selling scraps. He actually went to school in Ghana a little bit. Oh yes, he went to Accra, and then he left. Maybe because he was not academically sharp and bright. But in his own words, he felt school was a waste of time, and he still believes in that. Hey, in the run-up to the election, this was the guy whose name was all over the place. He was a philanthropist. He had so much money. And when I tried to find out the source of his money, he got angry with me and called me all sorts of names, insulted me, and we reported that. Do you remember? So I have never been his friend from when I decided to ask questions that people can't ask him. This is Cheddar. He came into the country, in fact, parading himself, portraying himself as a self-made man. He said he was over there in England and he sold scraps and made money. My biggest problem with him was when he imported some white tigers into the country. White tigers. He said they are a very rare species. He brought them into the country. And it came out that he was maltreating these animals. He declawed them. He cut off all their claws and fed them with what he wanted and not what the animals wanted. In no time, the animals became obese. And people who had their houses around where he kept these animals were complaining. The place was smelling for lack of care. Smelling. And they reported him to the wildlife people. So the wildlife people came and ordered him to build a certain kind of cage, at least, to have these animals. My brother, he declawed the tigers and deteethed them, filed their teeth so they couldn't bite. He turned them into cats, domestic cats. And when I told him, as an animal activist and an animal rightist, he got angry and called me poor. He threatened that he would buy my radio station and sack me. This idiot. But Ghanaians were clamoring around him, Cheddar, Cheddar, because Ghanaians are interested in fools. They are not interested in people who have wisdom. Anybody who has some money, whether it is stolen from Sakawa, they worship you, which is sad. So me and him had a big banter. There was a time he even threatened to take me to court. His lawyers came and made a lot of noise and went away. Because when they were confronted with the facts, they realized that he had no case. You are maltreating animals and we are telling you and you are angry. He stood for the elections and tricked, allegedly, some great Pan-Africanists that everybody knows in the world of Pan-Africanism. He had what he called the new force. And he said he was the face in the mask. My brother, my sister, Ghanaians would have loved him more, but for the arrogance.
Any Black Rasta and so come enra obedi about a cheddar a $14.9 million UK court at the abono. Dowona TV charging comment section.